the sacral center. Hey beautiful souls, welcome to the With Love Cole YouTube channel. Here you'll find tons of wisdoms on esoterics, wellness, human design, and so much more, as well as family content and life as a new mom, and also sharing guidance as a 3/5 self-projected projector. So join the ride and also check out my CMOS shop at Cole Apothecary and find me on all platforms at With Love Cole. Hey beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole, and if you're watching, thanks so much. It's been a pleasure making these full moon and new moon videos for you guys. And if you guys saw the trailer at the beginning of this video, you know that I'm a mom, wellness entrepreneur, and so much more. So my life is really busy, and syncing with the moon has been so helpful for my life. I really get to feel the effects of Aquarius full moon as someone who is an Aquarius full moon. So I do have my chakra music lightly playing in the background. I decided to leave it on because I wanted to be creative and express my Aquarian side as I'm making this video for you guys. So I was like, let me leave the natural sounds and switch up where I'm sitting, all that stuff for this video, as a part of the creative process of showing you the moon cycles and how it can affect us and our environments and so much more. All right, so let's jump into the video. I have my notes on my side, so if you see me glancing over, I'm glancing at my notes. I make these posts for Instagram as well, so I do graphics for Instagram, kind of also expressing another side of my creativity there, sharing my esoteric wisdoms there. So this video is in harmony with that post. So feel free to follow me at With Love Cole on Instagram, as well as TikTok and other platforms. And of course, subscribe here on the YouTube channel if you haven't already. So this full moon in Aquarius is a supermoon, and when we have a supermoon, we have a more illuminated sky. A supermoon means that there is more light as the moon is appearing closer to the earth. There is more light that is hitting the earth. So this is a great time for illumination, as we see in human design, gate 33, which is the gate of retreat, is transiting. So with that, it is also a time to contemplate on, what things in your life might be illuminated, and it might be a time for you to spend time in isolation or introspection so you can think about these things. So some key transits that we have for this astrological season and Leo season is Venus retrograde. So Venus retrograde is usually a time where the energy of Venus, which is the planet of love, harmony, creativity, material possessions, this is a planet that reflects beauty and love and wealth, right? So when we have Venus in retrograde, it appears as if these things in our life might be going backwards, or we might be reconsidering these things. Hold on one second. The music's a little loud, so I'm gonna turn it down. Oftentimes during Venus retrograde, we will experience past lovers coming back, or people who haven't been in our life that might have been close to us, or might be family members coming back into our life, trying to proclaim how they feel, what maybe change their mind, maybe even give you an apology. It's up to you to decide what is best at this time, and of course consider how this person has treated you in the past, but also see if that story is based on a narrative that you were telling yourself, or is it rooted in truth. Aquarian is very future forward, so Aquarius is also known to know when to say no. So this season is very much about honoring your boundaries, choosing to say no when you need to, because if we're moving forward, we have to be able to let go of the past. If you think of a tree sheds its molt, so it keeps the things that are necessary for nutrients, for survival, for growth, and it knows when to leave the things that are no longer necessary. Let it leave its body. That is the beauty of regeneration. So that is an energy that I've also picked up as well for this season. And in the spirit of regeneration, there is a process of rebirth, and it is a process of ending one period and coming into another. So knowing the season you're in, listening to these videos and also tuning into the moon cycles as well as just nature cycles yourself, you'll be able to see what's right for you. Next, we have Saturn in Pisces. So Saturn in Pisces in human design is transiting gate 55, which is the gate of spirit. And it's very much about bringing people, or people seeing their inner truth or their inner creativity, that there's more to life than just what we know in the physical plane, but there is this spirit that we are meant to connect to, and this soul. And as we are seeing people leave the shadow of victimization behind and move into the energy of freedom and knowing that they're actually able to create the life and the reality they want, we are seeing a shift on the planet. We are seeing major advances. Again, this is the full moon in Aquarius. So I think the super moon is illuminating how quickly society is advancing. Our politicians have literally, the US government has recently admitted to aliens, or at least unknown species being in the world. Yeah, like being seen, and that there have been multiple accounts of this. So yeah, our society is changing really fast. We're coming into new truths, and some of it seems very esoteric. Especially when you have Saturn in Pisces, you are going to see major changes in spirituality and ways of being in regards to spirituality. You're also going to be seeing a shifting of breaking out of the illusory. Sometimes Pisces is very often associated with escapism, but now we're in a situation where you can't escape feeling like a victim. People who have the internet and are using it wisely are creating the reality that they want. People who are choosing to stay in negative thought forms, patterns, and habits are creating the reality that they want. So it's up to us to really choose what we're taking in. The full moon is about setting those boundaries, even with our content. What content are you choosing to take in? Are the influencers you are looking at creating the world that you want to see, or are they simply creating the world that they want to see, which could be more consumerism? It could be more like fast fashion. I'm also kind of guilty of having some consumption of fast fashion, but as I'm becoming a mom and a parent and thinking more long term, I'm realizing the way we consume things in this world is ridiculous. There definitely can be less consumption and more resourcefulness when it comes to the resources that we have. But that's another topic for another day. So let's continue with the transits and the key transits of this full moon. So we also have Pluto in Capricorn at this time. And when Pluto is in Capricorn, we are drawn to the work of our psyche. What is the deep work? What is the work that we are called here for, that our soul is drawing us to? And for me in particular, you're seeing an example of this with this very video. I've been called to follow the moon and see nature cycles and learn about the chakra systems in human design and learn about mind, body, spirit, holistic living. So if you're called to those things, and these are kind of still very new and radical ways of understanding the world and also interdisciplinary, I pause because I'm trying to say go out there, really research this. My North Node happens to be in gate 61.1, which is in human design, the gate of inner truth, and in line 1, the gate of occult knowledge. And we recently had that gate transit, and I'm just highlighting that with this transit because it's within a week or two. But occult knowledge, deep work, deep study of yourself, as we have Pluto in Capricorn, use this time over the next few years to really develop who you are, learn about yourself, learn about you as an individual. As a society, we are moving towards more of an individual society. And I think a huge part of that is because we are rapidly growing in our abilities to express, share, convert information. So with that, we now need time to really get back to the the individual person, because people are not moving at their optimal health, optimal well-being. And in order for society to evolve to its optimal self, we need well people. We need humans that are mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually well. So Pluto in Capricorn is a time to focus on that inner transformation and a time to be well, so that you can go out and again see the society build, so that collectively we're bringing our best selves to the forefront. So now let's talk about some full moon in Aquarius during Leo season themes. If you're seeing the number 333, that is a theme around this season. It's the energy of healing and knowing that there's help coming on the way. It's also knowing that you're being guided and all the steps you're taking is towards the integration of bringing you to your whole and best self. We also have some other themes of ego, abandonment, expression. We may see people like showing how they feel right now, coming at you aggressively, speaking their truth. Also the theme of rationalizing is coming up. Know that this is just part of the transit, and we can choose to react, or we can also choose to retreat and know that it may be time for us to step away from the situation and take a moment of self-care or do what's best for us. Cooperative is another word. We know that Aquarius is the humanitarian. So this season is very much about how can we build ourselves individually and detach from society, so that what we bring is cooperative, that we can be humanitarian, that we can show up fully, taking that time and our uniqueness and our awkwardness to then come back and create something beautiful. Illumination. So as I mentioned, full moons, especially with a super moon, the light is shining really bright on earth. And with that, things are coming out. Secrets are coming out. Motives are being exposed. Intentions are being revealed. So keep all these things in mind. Also, of course, first and foremost, check your intentions and check your emotions. That will keep you the most clear in understanding the emotions of others, but also knowing not to take things personally. We all know that quote by Miguel Ruiz about the 4 agreements, and choosing to not take things personally is one of the 4 agreements. And I think if I actually really focused on that information, that agreement of the 4 out of all of them, I think it's one of the most impactful, because at the time, if I really took it to heart, I would see, a difference in certain aspects. I'm seeing that difference now because I'm now at a different level of wisdom and self-awareness, right? So like the information hits different, and I think it's beautiful when we have those moments, because I think that's when the integration is most powerful. And that's what full moons are for, those powerful moments of ahas, of integration, of knowing, of saying, oh, maybe this is not correct for me, Be shiny, y'all. I love mustard seed oil, and I just like put a bunch on my body and now I'm so shiny. So some mantras I have for the new moon is slower is faster. Another is Kundalini awakening. Slower is faster simply because when we are innovative and we are tapped into that Aquarian energy, being rebellious, being revolutionary, it may take more time because it may take more plotting out and deep work to get to that point, or soul growth to get to that point. But on the other side of it is quick changes. On the other side is turns in your direction. On the other side is like divine favor. And now let's talk about Kundalini awakening. So if you are not aware of Kundalini awakenings, I'll put a little description up here. What is a Kundalini awakening? Kundalini is a form of divine feminine energy believed to be located at the base of the spine in the Muladhara. It is an important concept in Shiva Tantra, where it is believed to be a force of power associated with the divine feminine, or the formless aspect of the goddess. The awakening of this energy is the Kundalini awakening. But also you can go on Google or look up, resources that talk more deeply on Kundalini awakenings. but this is a very big period for power activations within the sacral center as well as the throat center. I got a little tongue-tied, so it made me want to say the throat center as well. And with these sacral activations, people are coming into their higher selves. They're realizing their true purpose and gifts, and it's almost feeling like a flooding of downloads or creative energy leaving your body. I recently started creating some YouTube shorts, and for me, that release of creative energy every day where I get to do something and share something with you guys has been like a kundalini awakening in my energy. I was like, I finally had this download of how I can go about sharing more information on human design and just esoteric knowledge, and this was a way I could do it. And also to get people to meditate, because I feel like really meditation is like the true way to bring you back to self, because no video you watch online is going to give you the answers to yourself, but that moment of silence after, or something in the video that triggered a thought for you, that's the answer. It's within those moments. So yeah, if you've been experiencing a kundalini awakening, you may be feeling a flooding of creative knowledge, information, power, energy coming from your body. You may be feeling dense legs, you may be feeling chills, you may be feeling like vibratory energy almost leaving your body, or you also might be feeling a shooting up of energy from your pelvic area up until your spine. This might lead to heart activations because the energy is shooting past your heart, also your throat. With an open throat, you're now able to express yourself better, so your talents and stuff are coming to the world. For me, I'm recently going through an Invisalign journey, and as I've been telling you guys, that's been very spiritual as well, because it's not just oh, I'm just getting my mouth done. It's like your mouth is connected to other parts of your body. Your jaw muscles are connected to your pelvic floor. So I'm realizing like trauma in certain places, because I dealt with cold and detached energy from men, I'm now seeing how that could have been blocking my throat for so long. And to know that so many women experience that and go through that and have had traumatic situations with men, especially as women are receivers of energy, it just makes me realize how important this work is, of like getting us to be in tune with our bodies and knowing what's going on in the planet and nature, our moon cycles, all of those things, because only you can know yourself. And seeing other people on their journey of self-development, or seeing people tap into their individual bodies of like, what is working for my body, let me do what's unique for my creative expression, it really helps others show up in that way. And I'm hoping this video, even though I'm being very chatty and kind of going off topic, is showing up for you guys in that way, because you wouldn't realize some of the things you went through could be traumatic unless you heard someone else talk about it and how they overcame it. And then you're like, wait, I have traumas in my body I might need to overcome. And not to say that to trigger anything, but to make you realize like we can live in a much better society, way more loving, way less cold and detached. And that's what kind of the Aquarian energy is about. It's choosing to be mindful or conscientious of the energies that you come in contact with, because you want those connections to be pure. And then you want, when it is meant to be more of a stranger and friendly from a distance interaction, it's healthy. This can also go into the whole parasocial relationships conversation. We know Doja Cat has been talking about this and like making certain comments on social media. And I think that has a lot to go into this full moon in Aquarius, highlighting, stan culture, and how it can be so beautiful to advocate for people, but it can also be really disconcerting to see people focus so much on wanting to emulate, be like somebody else, when that person is just being their best selves to show you how you can be yourself, your best self. I'm gonna really quickly say this. I have so many things to say for this video. I'm gonna try to keep it as short as possible because it's a lot to upload these long videos, y'all. Feeling like tingles. It's like little feathers are flying on my face. But I want to say this. So Beyonce is a 1-3 generator, if I'm correct. And she is also a RAX Cross of Consciousness. So she is here to really like help consciousness or raise consciousness or, you know, kind of control minds through consciousness. And she kind of does that with the media. And she's been telling y'all that you are the visual. She's been telling y'all that Renaissance is to create a party, is to create creativity, to trigger people's imagination. And everybody's been going there, dressing up like her, being her. And it's beautiful because I'm also seeing unique expressions in that way. But I do want to remind you guys, this celebration, even of her, is really a celebration of you. And that's kind of what I feel like Beyonce energy is. She also has gate 63 in her chart, which is the gate of doubt and after contemplation. So I do feel like sometimes she's like, y'all not getting it. She be doubting, like, are they getting my message? But I think she knows that people are listening, and wow, I have all these little hairs. People are listening and thinking and contemplating. All right, off Beyonce, because she's been the topic for the summer, y'all. She's been the topic for the summer. She is the one person I see on Instagram every single day, even if I'm on the app for 30 seconds. All right, so here's the energy reading from Leo season, and I typed it up, and I'm just gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna just read it. It says, this month, feel the nudges in the right direction. When we rush inner healing, we can dysregulate the nervous system or create really high expectations for ourselves that the physical body may find harsh and intense, which is also why you want to make sure when you are experiencing a Kundalini awakening or a release of like tons of knowledge, information, downloads, that you are in company of people who understand, because this can be very, as it says, dysregulating to your nervous system, and it also can be dysregulating for your mental health. So you do want to be mindful of, especially with Saturn in Pisces, how you use plant medicine. If you are using plant medicine, I do not recommend people who have a predisposition to certain things, and you know what those things are, to be dabbling with plant medicine heavily, because again, psychosis is real. And our mind is like, I don't want to say our mind is the most important part of our body, because we know that we're holistic, right? There's so much to us, but our minds are valuable and we want to take care of them. So trusting in the wheel of life allows us to do more within the constraint of time. Allowing divine downloads to be the force behind the body moving will lead to more success and radical growth with less effort and pressure. Attune to the moment of life and help others when you feel guided to. So this is great because I went camping and all I could think about is my YouTube short videos, and all I could think about is the work I wanted to do and all the videos that I'm behind on putting out. And I had to realize, like, my responsibility in this world is not just the outside of my nuclear family I can help, but reality is, like, the main people I need to be able to take care of is myself, my family, my nuclear family, which includes my partner, my child, and my dog. And that realization of being camping, relaxing, this is actually what is needed right now. And this is actually healing. So I'm actually going to jump in now to the human design gates and transits, because now I'm going to talk about gate 19, because I mentioned my dog and my baby. So I'm going to talk about gate 19, which is the human design gate of sensitivity. And I'll read you guys what I wrote on this gate. The animal totem for gate 19 is the horse. The horse has a sensitivity that guides them to greener pastures. Horses don't go where they're not welcome, and they are quick to leave spaces and places that disrupt them. Sensitivity can be a survival mechanism when we are aware of the emotional wave. Allow your strategy and authority to guide your emotions this month, as your natal design is filled with beneficial knowledge of your future. So gate 19 in human design is the gate of approach, or also known as the gate of sensitivity to many. And this gate is very much about the energy of two, the interaction of one and another, and how this interaction is sometimes can be self-sacrificial when we're focused on the needs or sensitivities of the other, or at the same time it can be truly empathetic and harmonious because we have that deep sensing, understanding, and feeling energy and connection to the other. So it's really beautiful because gate 19 is an Aquarius gate, and I have 19.3. I have this gate in my moon. But yeah, so to have this gate transit during this time is cool. It's also a reminder to maybe spend time with babies and children during this season. So this video did go a little longer, so I did write about gate 33, which is the gate of retreat, and I talked about that briefly earlier. Gate 33 is a Leo gate. It's between around 7 degrees to, I want to say, 13 degrees Leo. It's also a collective gate, and it's in the throat. So it is about retreating, but it's about retreating for the sake of reflecting, and then, you know, coming back on those reflections, reflecting on past experiences for the mindfulness, and actually retreating, choosing to wane, choosing to not necessarily be the center of attention. Aquarius often feels misunderstood, and I think it's interesting because in harmony with Leo, which is all like the proud lion that's out there, it balances Aquarius because Aquarius is cold and detached, but Leo on the other side, but also has a nature of the humanitarian and sensitivity. And Leo's the opposite because they're more family oriented and they're like about their family. Yet when it comes to other people or their outer community, they can seem more like the leader or like the one that's kind of like the bold one. So with this kind of balancing of these two energies, we have to think about that type of harmony that we want in our relationships and the beauty of both aspects. There's true beauty when we're really intentional about the people who are around us, like our family, retreating like the lion who's like focused probably on home and things that it needs to tend to before it goes out and focuses on when it needs to hunt or attack or whatever. And then we have the Aquarius that's all about detaching so that it can be more isolated because it's building and thinking and plotting on how it can do things for the collective. So I'm also going to talk a little bit about the reflector aura type because I do feel like this season it's great to see the human design reflector aura type and kind of like play into that energy. Reflector aura types are really good at sampling. So they kind of just sample energy around them. They don't necessarily hold on to anything for too long, and they know to move with the moon cycles. And when I say they know, even if they're not aware of human design, often we live in our design. So reflectors tend to naturally move with nature's cycles and take their time making decisions because they know that their emotional wave is really dependent on that lunar cycle. So similarly, we can use this season with Leo season, with the full moon in Aquarius, as a time to reflect on what is serving us, what is making us surprised and bringing like glee and joy and kind of letting us see things like the Leo in a childlike way, and what is dissatisfying us, similar to the Aquarian who can be the contrarian, what is making us feel disappointed in the world. The Aquarian is always trying to fix things, so often the Aquarian may feel like the reflector shadow of disappointment. So with that being said, think about the feedback loops that you are creating. I actually am going to link a video about the mirror principle from Quasir. He is really amazing and he does a lot of talks and teaching education on YouTube about quantum physics, first principles, mental models, all of these really big box ideas and theories that will help change people's consciousness and is helping change people's consciousness. He's also helped people make a lot of money. So if you are someone who is an entrepreneur creative who's looking to use the internet in the Aquarian age and build your business, I highly recommend watching and learning, because when you learn mental models and principles, that's like the foundation that you need more than anything. Because with that, and then letting the body, letting the soul do what it does in living in your design, you will see the natural integration of your personality and your soul. So let's end with some self-care messages. That was so dramatic. Of Leo season. So here are some self-care messages for Leo season. Go camping or gardening. So I recently went camping at Point Mugu with my family. I'm working on a camping vlog for that. That might take a while just because I have a lot of videos to put out. But yes, go camping. It's really, really fun. And it's a great way to get grounded and connect with nature. And it's also kind of like a good way to spot UFOs. Is watch conspiracy theories, because what greater thing to do at a full moon in Aquarius of all things. Aquarians are all about the aliens and all about like trying to figure out the world and everything around them. So watch some conspiracy theories, not for the sake of believing in them, but maybe just choosing to open your mind to an opinion that's different from yours. Next is tell somebody off. It's a great season to set boundaries. I'll actually link the book, Set Boundaries, Find Peace by Nadra Tawwab, Dr. Nadra Tawwab. I think I'm saying her name correctly. She is a therapist that talks a lot, and a clinical therapist that talks a lot about setting boundaries in your interpersonal relationships and how this can bring you happy relationships and peace. And this book was very life-changing for me, so I want to share it here with you guys. Next is hug a tree. So I went on a date with Boo, and then after we went on a date, we took Indy to the park and we saw a guy hugging a tree, and I was like, oh my gosh, full moon in Aquarius things. Hug a tree, go in nature and hug a tree. I thought that was really sweet because a lot of times people don't connect with plants. There's actually a video on Instagram. I'm gonna link it. I gotta link it for you guys. But there's a video of Diddy saying hi to his plants and touching his plants, and I was just like, yes, we need more people connecting in nature with plants and like saying hello to their plant friends around them. I think sometimes as humans we think that if it's not like us, if it's not another human around, then no one's around. And then sometimes I look out my window and I'm like, I have all of these plants looking at me, all of these plants. Someone's around, right? Like nature's around, and like they are I feel like in many ways sentient beings as well, you know. They say they can't feel. I don't know. We don't know. We're finding out new things every day, y'all. So like, mira. And then I'm actually gonna leave you guys with this quote from Farah M. Sadiq. I really love her post. She also taps into the trances. She's like a beautiful dark feminine energy, and I say dark because her posts have more of a lunar feel to it. But yeah, it's beautiful, positive messages. They're uplifting with beautiful artistry as well. And she made a post that said, you have to leave the tribe to bring back the medicine, with a picture of a lion. And that is so true. That is the energy of the full moon in Leo. Yes, that is the energy of the full moon in Aquarius during Leo season. So I'm gonna relax and tap into my feminine energy, because this was very masculine talking to y'all for 35 minutes. But if you like this video, please stay in touch. I would love your comments. I would love how you feel into the transits. I'm actually just going to list the writing prompts in this video because, yeah, I was building it out so much bigger at the beginning, and I am still building out my stuff, you feel me? But I'm also realizing I could probably get these videos out quicker if I just kind of compartmentalize some of the things I'm building out. And that is also what this energy is about. It's about realizing those changes and quickly making them. In the video I'll link for Quasi, he also talks about Elon Musk, and I want to talk about his energy for the full moon in Aquarius because I really want to end on this. He talks about how Elon Musk doesn't take no for an answer, so he's very solution oriented when he wants something done, but also he has like strong belief in himself, and he has like one main mission statement or one main focus, and his main focus is to build a colony on Mars. So everything he does is like, does it bring me closer to building a colony on Mars? That is his why. So in this video, I want to end with, what is your why? Do you want to build a colony on Mars? Do you want to see more people be able to have free food and education? Do you want to see more mothers be able to spend the first 2 years of their life with their kids, or their children's life with their children? Yeah, what's your why? Do you want to just spend more time with your family? Do you want to travel the world? Do you want to just see people live more spiritual lives? Do you want to be in community with more spiritual people? Whatever is your why, stick to it and be solution oriented as you reach for it. Yeah, I'm really happy that my why has driven me to be able to record while Indy sleeps. I also think that for all of these videos I'm making, and even some of the videos that are coming out later, I have all my notes on this topic. So if you're interested in me maybe putting all my notes on Patreon, please invite me as a projector. I would love the invite to do so. Because right now my Patreon hasn't really been expanding, and I know it's because a lot of the things I'm talking about, it may take a few years for people to really get privy to this information or want to research or go deeper. But I would love to know if that is something that you guys think will be valid. Like, would you read it? Do you like to do a lot of research? I feel like this is the age of people researching and kind of studying on their own and doing all that self-development on their own, so that we can come into our friendships and relationships and really relax in peace and ease, because we're not going through all this karma and self-development through our families. You know, we can just kind of heal and transmute these energies. And that's also something I want to talk about. Saturn and Pisces and cannabis, and how it's becoming way more accessible. More people are using it to transmute this energy of just like thoughts that are holding them back, or imposter syndrome, or self-doubt, or anxiety. But also we're seeing the flip side. So yeah, I just want all your thoughts on everything I've said for the past like 40 minutes. All right, so I've said a lot. I'm probably gonna snip this video up, but I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Comment on the things I've mentioned, and see you in the next one. You're a real one if you made it to the end. Just hit that subscribe button.